Welcome back, guys. It's been a few weeks. I've been having some time off just to relax and just finished the alignment modality. We finished last night, great success again. So it's been a really good experience and some lovely initiates and people on the workshop. And it was a really good time. So what I want to do is share a channel message again today, just regarding sort of this part of this sort of matriarchal energy that is starting to release around the planet. And it's funny that we're starting to see just little more cracks of this system breaking up. And there was something about Bill Gates today as well. And Spirit said, the top echelon are going to start to be exposed, and I think it's starting to happen now. But again, when I share this information, we're just sort of touching on it. It's just to highlight the positive message that we're giving, and showing that the system that's been playing out is starting to shake up again, and it's really going to be coming out in the next 2 years to really expose, if we want to give it a timeline. But the main thing is that when this is all happening in the world, you have to see it as a mirror of your own internal process as well. So you have to understand where you dominate your side, your feminine side, where you dominate your will, your true will, your soul energy through your ego consciousness. A lot of people do that unconsciously through survival. Because that's the way we've been taught, that's the way we've grown up, that's a societal programming. But whatever's happening in the external world is a reflection of humans' consciousness as a group collective consciousness. So we have to be responsible for our own energy output. And as I said very clearly on the workshop last night, with everyone on there, that to affect change on the planet, it has to come down to cellular communication. It's always about the cells. This is why so many people talk about cells and the importance of cellular health information. Bruce Lipton talks a lot about it. But the main thing is that when you work on yourself and you start to transform your DNA, your energy field, where you clear your emotional body, you allow more light to come into the cells. Because you're saying to the universe, I'm ready. So what happens is you start to get a consciousness shift, and a lot of support comes your way because you've put out the intention, you've put out the call. So of course you're going to get help, because this is a time of transformation. So anyone with the intention to transform is going to have that assistance very, very quickly. It's going to come through very powerfully. So information in the cells is the most important thing, and that is why we're so divided as a planet, because cellular information has been divided through misinformation, and of course that causes dysfunction, and it leads us down false paths, and of course it can affect our health. So to work on yourself is to establish consciousness that is which is a prime directive from the universal consciousness, universal mind. And as I said in previous videos, Creator has put out a call. So the original divine algorithm that we hold within us, the one and the zero, the male and the female, the genetic coding, is now opening again. So because the creative forces have put out this call, what's happening now is the receptor cells are opening in the cells as well. So you're creating, it's almost like a satellite, you're drawing in information. So what's happening too is that call, that divine algorithm from Prime Creator, is coming through our consciousness now. And it's allowing us to initiate light body consciousness, or this shift that we're going through. And of course, to establish that grounding within ourselves on a personal level, there has to be a clearing of the emotional body. And then of course, then the mental body and the belief systems will then follow. And then the soul can sort of ground itself in the body. But more importantly, is that when you work on yourself, you are emanating a field of consciousness. So anyone you walk past, friends, family, you're in the shopping centre, you're at work, if they're ready to establish themselves as universal beings and come out of the illusionary world, they will ask you, they will comment, they will say, you look amazing, you've changed, you look better, you know, what's going on with you, give me some. And that is when you're starting to ignite them unconsciously. The cells are talking to the cells. So if you want to help humanity, it's not about rallying and revolution and you know, banging on people's doors. Yes, that helps in some ways because it shakes up the consciousness. But if you want to affect permanent, long-lasting change, that's actually coming from divine current or consciousness, then you have to work on yourself, and that is how you heal the planet. And that's great because then everybody can take responsibility and in the sense of not always taking responsibility, they can do their part for the planet. Because a lot of people say, well, how can I help the planet? You know, I don't have the voice, I don't have the resources, I don't want to, you know, blah, blah, blah. But what happens is, if you work on yourself, you are affecting the planet, you are assisting, you are helping consciousness. And that gives everyone a goal, it gives everyone purpose, it gives everyone fulfillment, and everyone can then feel like they've achieved something for the planet as well as themselves. So again, you've got to flip it all on its head, okay? So, you know, and that's a lot of things. People are still in survival mode, and it's very hard to find a way out of even their own suffering. So just work on yourself, and then that will trickle through, and then like a domino effect, auras affect auras, and it just expands. And that's how it's done, because everyone, no one can save us, you know. Yes, there's beings that can come on this planet and clear everything up in a couple of hours, but that's not the point. Then humanity hasn't learned. So we have to take our own sovereignty back. So that starts with your own healing. And it's very simple, and this is the time to do it now. And it's not going to be some drawn out, dragged out experience. You just got to get into it, and it'll come up fast, but it will shift very fast as well. And that's what I'm starting to see, especially since COVID started. The transformations are much faster now because consciousness is speeding up, and we have that support. All right, so I just want to read this message. So I just put in old earth mentality. I started channeling something else, and then something else came in, so I'll come back to that original message. It was to do with the ocean and beings in the ocean, but anyway, we'll come back to that. So we are seeing around the globe many beings holding on to an age that has now become redundant. And what humans are now just discovering is the amount of energy they waste being caught up in the height of an illusionary world. The male energy over the next 6 months is on a path of surrender, and through next year this surrender will integrate with the human evolution. Now, the male energy in whatever form needs love, and it needs support. It takes a brave soul to surrender to the feminine, and the more you can encourage men in your life or your own male side to soften the approach, to take a step back where less is more, you will find a deep gratitude preceding this acknowledgement. Why? Because the male consciousness, as we know, is exhausted, but more importantly, wants balance and integration. And the feminine willpower is very strong, but very gentle, and can weave that energy in a way that supports instead of attacks. It can be a delicate matter, but what is important is your intention to assist the male or your own male energy, that it comes from the heart and not your judgment of the male behaviour, and certainly not for your own benefit, i.e. getting your own way or a way to control. Because the ego has been playing this game for far too long now, and it's time to be authentic in all your communication with each other. In actual fact, men are waiting to be approached in this matter. They want emotional understanding, emotional resonance with their intellect. And you will find a scared little boy in most cases. And if it's the male side dominant in a female, then it's most likely coming from survival or inadequacy. The feminine energy needs to be expressed with love and tenderness, because within the tenderness is where the power resides. The energy is already powerful, so it doesn't need to be expressed with power or force. And the only way to express this powerful force is through tenderness, subtle and even childlike. So look around in your life. Use your intuition, and the right men will reveal themselves that are ready. And if it's your male side dominant, then you need to soften your approach and give permission to the divine feminine to work through you and balance the two energies. And if you are listening to this video, you are more than ready. So quite a soft, to the point message. So yeah, and then you just need to set that intention, and then it will just naturally unfold, you know, whether it's working with yourself or with someone else. But you know, if your intention is there to assist, then people will come, and that's what we're finding now. And as we're moving back into community consciousness, it is more about integrating and balancing and letting go of the past, and it's, you know, we just need to be in the present moment and think about the most important thing, like I said, to affect change on this planet. If you really want to assist this planet and assist yourself, work on yourself. And that is the most powerful thing you can do at any time in consciousness, but right now especially. All right, guys, well, thank you, and I will speak to you again. I'll probably be back next week now. I'll be back more into a routine now I'm back. And yeah, have a lovely day, and I'll speak to you all soon. Take care.